I came across a question on Hunch app asking if you're holding a secret from your partner. It was surprising to see that 73% of the votes were on yes, that they keep a secret. I wonder what secret you're hiding away. Story 1. When she was giving the kids a bath one night in February, I decided to install the surround sound speakers on the skinny table behind the couch. I slid out the sofa and the table to get access to the power strip for the subwoofer and saw a rolled-up black shirt on the floor next to it. Closer inspection revealed it was a black snake rolled up in a ball, getting some warmth from the power strip. She is terrified of snakes. I ran out to the garage, grabbed a bucket and lid, picked up the snake, and put it in the bucket and quickly out into the garage. The next day was an unusually warm winter day in the United States Southeast, so I let it go in the field across the street. I'm guessing it got in from around one of the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning boots nearby on the floor. If I brought it up then, I would have had to move in the middle of that night. If I bring it up now, I'll have to move tonight. Maybe one day, but I don't see us leaving here anytime soon, so that secret will die with me. Story 2. That I don't really have the power to bring dead plants back to life. They're called perennials. They're supposed to die off and come back in the spring. Story 3. My husband is a musician. Every time he releases a new track, I play the song on repeat all day long on Sundays, the only day when he isn't home, because he tracks the number of listens he gets. I guess this is a feature of Spotify. So many times he's like, wow, I get so many more listens on Sundays. I wonder why that is. Guess you'll never know, babe. Update. You guys, seriously, I love you all so much. You're amazing. Today, he finally noticed randomly and stopped in the middle of our conversation to say, wait, what? What is this? As he discovered, he went from 34 monthly listeners to now 1,003 followers to 241. Apparently, the song was added to 79 different playlists too. That's incredible. He's so excited right now, you have no idea. This means a lot. You guys don't even know because he's been very down in the dumps about his music lately and the future, and I feel like this was the perfect thing to lift his spirits. Thank you all so much, you kind, beautiful strangers. I never expected a simple answer to a question would produce such amazing results like this. Thank you for your kind words about loving his music. I'm so glad you all enjoy it as much as I do. He has always loved making music and is a bit shy about it. So thank you for supporting him in what he loves doing the most. Second update. He just told me that one listener listened to the song 2,000 times. Wait, what? You guys are so crazy. And I totally love it. I'm totally dying over here as he is smiling in confusion and laughing to himself. I wish you guys could see his face right now. It's adorable. He's trying so hard to figure out the mystery. I want to tell him so badly, but I'm taking this secret to my grave. Story 4. When we play puzzle-oriented video games, I don't speak up when I solve it in my head. She gets stressed with video games and I love to play with her, but if I solve it faster every time, she won't want to play as much. She's new to it, and I want her to enjoy it with me. There's been several people asking what games we play, so I'll add that in. First, we played A Way Out, which isn't really a puzzle game but was a lot of fun. Then we played It Takes Two, which is a bit more puzzle-oriented. Currently playing Unravel 2, which is the one I am talking about in the post. I've seen a few recommendations in the comments and plan on playing them next with her. Story 5. On our first date, I went to pick her up. I got to her house and parked across the street. I messaged her an hour later, telling her I accidentally got too high smoking a joint on the way to her, so I slept in the car until it wore off. The secret. I actually got diarrhea, took an explosive poop on a wall a few houses down from hers. When I picked her up, we drove past it, and I saw her look at it on the way past. Edit. It's been 7 years. Story 6. I created 5 Twitch accounts and log in on each of them when he streams. I also send him bits from each account. He is a small streamer and was feeling like he wasn't having much luck. Story 7. That when I used to do funny voices as if our cat, or now my daughter's guinea pig, are speaking, it's because I have invented a whole persona for them in my head. The guinea pig, who is a bit bossy and temperamental, is a gangster with a whole crime empire and enjoys saying, "How do you like that? How do you like it?" in a rough Cockney accent when he bites or urinates on one of us. Our cat was a sly supervillain who enjoyed the art of psychological warfare. She was particularly good at hiding socks for nefarious reasons and had a rough Glaswegian accent, similar to mine without the edge polished off. I honestly don't know how I'd explain all that now. Story 8. She asked to measure my penis one time, somehow read it wrong, and added an inch to it, turning it from average to large. There's nothing to gain from this, but it does make me laugh when she makes a comment about it. Story 9. When I was 17, I had an unwanted sexual encounter. A group of 5 men stopped me at knife point. Today, decades later, I keep that secret. I went through therapy. It helped. The stigma is still strong, and that is a shame. I am the victim. I am not the one who should be ashamed of it. Yes, that does not apply to women only. It also happens to men like me. Story 10. I borrowed his expensive sunglasses from the car for a lunch date and lost them. I went back to the restaurant and looked everywhere, but they were most likely picked up since they were nice Ray-Ban sunglasses. I hadn't told him yet, thinking I would bring it up at a good time, and our car was broken into that very night. He came in and told me after speaking with the police, and they took my nice Ray-Ban sunglasses. I thought for a few seconds, calculating, and replied, "Those sons of a..." Nevertheless, I will never admit it. Story 11. I don't really know the final Jeopardy answer every night. The question and answer are posted online before the show comes on. He's always so amazed by me. Tonight's answer is, who is Mary Poppins? Story 12. The morning after our first date, I was driving her back to her car and put on the song American Pie by Woody Allen. In the moment, she made a comment about me putting it on for her, and she's since said that me playing that song for her kind of confirmed for her that I was into her and it wasn't just a one-night stand or whatever. She doesn't bring it up constantly, but I'm never surprised when she does, and she loves it when I play it around her. What I'll never tell her is that the song had just recently come out, and I'd only heard it once, so I just really wanted to listen to it. I didn't put it on for her, and I didn't intend for her to take it any type of way, but I am so glad I put it on, and I'm glad she took it that way, which is why I'll never tell her. Story 13. I made the call to terminate one of my unborn twins to save the other when the doctors asked for permission. I'll never tell her I made the decision. To elaborate, we had monoamniotic twins. One was too sick to carry and would have endangered both. Birth reduction was inevitable. Made the decision. God bless Johns Hopkins at Baltimore. Otherwise, I would have to pay $16,000 for 2 cremations, $8,000 each. May you never have to make that choice. Story 14. My now husband, on our first date, came to pick me up but said he got too high and needed an hour to sleep it off. I watched from my window as he had explosive diarrhea on my neighbor's house, and when he finally picked me up and we left, it reeked. As we drove by the house, I got a closer view of the mess my neighbor would need to clean up. He has no idea I knew. Story 15. My Reddit username. It's the one thing I have that's totally mine and the one place where I can be completely anonymous. It's not that I have anything to hide, but I feel if I knew she were reading my comments or posts, I would constantly be aware of that and no longer be able to have silly conversations or rant about pointless things. Story 16. I've been planning to divorce for more than a year now. I'm not telling her because she has a history of running away. Last time, she left me the day I was returning from a 10-month deployment, then broke into the house and took the dog, followed by issuing a restraining order and warrant for my arrest after she was the one arrested for assaulting me. Now we have kids, and I'm not taking any chances. I'm going to serve her divorce papers so any action she takes is viewed as reactionary. And I'm fighting for custody. Story 17. How I wipe my butt after pooping. It's literally the only secret my wife and I have from each other. I don't know how she does it, and I'm never in the room when she does it and vice versa. Story 18. That I've been having dark thoughts again. I don't want him to worry about me more than he already does. I know I will be okay and that it's just a phase, but it's hard to tell him since I don't want to disappoint him or scare him. Story 19. That my mom gave me a choice, me or her. I told her I wasn't going to make that choice. It took my mom a good 2 or 3 years to finally warm up to my wife. At the end of my mom's life, my wife and she got along fantastically. In the beginning, not so much. Story 20. We always tell our current partner that they are the best we've had in bed, true or not. I will not be telling my wife where she falls on that list, nor how long the list is. Women do the same too, I'm sure. Story 21. I do not have any secrets, but I do have some information that I am not going to volunteer, and she is not going to ask about. Mostly about ex-girlfriends. Story 22. I love her so much, but it's just not fun talking anymore. She's always either distracted or upset about something. Almost every conversation is either about something she is going through or me talking to avoid. I wish she would try to pay attention to me and the things I like more, but I just don't think it's ever going to happen. Story 23. The hotel I took her to at the end of our first date, I had brought another girl to only a month before. The guy at the desk recognized me but was professional enough not to say anything. Story 24. That I slept with her psychiatrist before I met her. I accompany my girlfriend to her doctor's appointment for support. One time, she had a new doctor, and I recognized the doctor from college when she came out to greet my girlfriend. I don't know if the doctor saw or recognized me. I don't point out every girl I slept with when my girlfriend and I bump into them, but I answer honestly if she asks me directly. This one, though, I would lie about to avoid any unnecessary friction between her and her doctor. Story 25. Going on 4 years clean from daily heroin use, many years of it. I still think about using every single day. I've been married 10 years, together 16. She's seen me at my best and my worst. I don't want to worry her or anyone else for that matter. I have developed techniques over the years that help me stay clean, but I've resigned myself to having the desire for the rest of my life. I'm 38. Story 26. That I'm never going to be too sure about anything or anyone in life. At times, I become too aloof and distant because I have this post-traumatic stress disorder from the past where I can't make myself believe that anyone will ever completely be mine, and thus I fail to be someone's completely. Story 27. Hanging around while someone is very depressed about losing someone else is no basis for a relationship. She is great, but I did not ask for this. Story 28. I was sexually assaulted when I was a teenager. I know it would crush her if she found out that I was keeping that from her. But I'm okay now. It's not a critical part of me, so despite not knowing, she still knows me, if that makes sense. Story 29. My fiancé collects information like a computer and goes on tangents on things I could never understand. The thing is, as smart as he is, he's not a literary person. He always compliments me on my reading habits and says that's why I know so many fancy words and incorporates them into his verbiage. He only gets them right about half the time, though. My favorite is the word indubitably. He's so close, but every time he says it differently, and it's always wrong. I'll correct him most of the time, but that one I'm planning on keeping around for as long as possible. Story 30. That I have another bank account that I regularly deposit money into. I have a couple of grand in there as a bit of a slush fund or for any emergencies. Story 31. That I spend the last dollar in my bank account and overdraft quite often for us to eat or for flowers for her. I know it's dumb, but I don't want to not treat her well and wait for myself to be able to afford it. I want her to enjoy life and not feel bad. Money will come later once I get this firefighting job finally squared away in the next few weeks. It's been about 8 months of hell getting it, and I'm almost there. But I love her so much and want her to enjoy every moment together without any guilt or using her own money. Story 32. She knows my wedding ring broke in half once, but she thinks the jeweler was able to repair it. They couldn't, and I had to buy a new one. The original broken ring is hidden somewhere. I obviously wasn't going to throw it out. Story 33. My man told me last night that his coworker cheated on his first wife, and everyone told the guy not to tell his wife. He did anyway because he believed she deserved to know. My man said, "Yeah, except now she's your ex." As horrified as I am by my own man agreeing with the majority in this case, I am absolutely shocked that the majority consensus is to lie about adultery. Story 34. Not only do I love his music and listen to him all the time, but I have a private Pinterest page with photos of him I found online. It is so embarrassing. He has a big head, and I have always told him I am not one of his little groupies. I am one of his little groupies. I am the head groupie. I will take this to my grave. Story 35. I've said this before, but when my now wife and I first got together, I wasn't that into her. I liked her well enough, but I didn't really feel that typical new relationship excitement, probably because I was still hung up on someone else. Story 36. How rough my life really was. Her dad had it rough, and he and I have opened up to each other. But neither his wife nor mine could comprehend to any real level the hardships we went through. Story 37. That I have Asperger's syndrome. Girls have mentioned that it's an ick and a red flag, so I'll take this knowledge of my brain to the grave. I did not realize it is way more okay than I thought. I guess I just ran with bad company too long, and their opinions colored my view of myself. Story 38. I have a few, but the main one is when I connected with my wife on AOL Instant Messenger after we met in person. I thought it was her sister, who at the time I thought was objectively more attractive. We talked on the phone and AOL Instant Messenger for almost a month before I saw her again in person. But by then I was pretty much head over heels. Seems like I dodged a bullet though. My wife has some crazy in her, but good lord, nothing compared to my sister-in-law.